Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sam and Noah Show. Today, we will be talking about Trump wanting the states to reopen. We'll also be talking about TikTok taking over YouTube. And finally, we'll be making our predictions about the school reopening. My name is Noah, and welcome, Sam.
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Sam. If you haven't figured it out based off the title yet.
I mean, it's kind of tough, you know?
Yeah, good news is today's a beautiful day outside. So,
At least it has been. We're recording now at, what is this, 8 p.m., so it's already pitch black.
yeah. Although summer's right around the corner, so I guess we should hop right into it then.
Yeah, so you told me about Trump wanting to reopen the states.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, please.
Okay, well, basically what's been happening in recent hours and days, Donald Trump has been tweeting that he wants the United States of America to reopen.
Yes, Donald Trump's famous tweets.
Yeah, and just recently, I think it was Mississippi, the governor of Mississippi, that decided to take off the stay-at-home order, and Donald
Okay.
Trump applauded him and said that the rest of the states should follow their course of action because. In another tweet, he said, "Let's get the economy booming again."
Yeah, yes.
So, and
All caps, or what was that one written?
oh yeah, all caps, all
Oh,
caps.
of course.
Yeah, and of course he's been tweeting Obamagate all caps, but that's quite typical of him, anyways.
Yes.
Another very interesting thing about Mr. Trump is that he's taking the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine, which is completely ineffective against the coronavirus. But I think he thinks he's keeping himself safe, which is delightful.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today, and I was kind of confused why. Like, it doesn't seem like he's going to get malaria. He's the president of the United States, and malaria and corona really don't have much in common, not that I know of.
Well, you know what? This is what Trump's reasoning was. In an interview, he said, "I've taken it for about a week and a half, and I'm still here, so it must do something."
He's still. Wait. Okay.
Maybe he's suggesting that he has the coronavirus right now, and that's why he's taking it, and he thinks that it's it's keeping him alive. But what I don't think he realizes is that he doesn't have malaria, so he's keeping himself safe from malaria. Obviously, if someone in the White House had malaria, then he'd be doing the right thing.
Or a mosquito flew
Yeah,
across the
yeah,
ocean.
something like
and-
that. But this doesn't even make sense. Words don't even express how confusing this is.
Yeah, like, okay, he doesn't feel anything.
Well, you have to assume that the person who's in charge of medical well-being at the White House has some sort of degree in biology and knows that there's no correlation between malaria and the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just a politician who's in charge of medicine there, because if it is, that's really pathetic.
Yeah.
But I would hope a doctor would at least know that malaria is not the same thing as the coronavirus. And
Yeah, that's. I mean, if they were, then we're kind of in for a rough ride, but I really doubt they are. I wanna hear your opinion really on Trump wanting to open the states, like, because as you know, there's still like 1 million confirmed cases of coronavirus in the U.S.
and it's not like
Why?
their numbers are shrinking either.
They really aren't. So what are your thoughts on that?
Here's what I think is going to happen in the U.S., and this is very improbable, and it's just me being pissed off at them. But I think what's going to happen is that everyone in the United States who can die from the coronavirus will die, and then once all those people are dead, it's not going to really matter if people have the coronavirus because all those people are not going to die from it. And even if they keep getting it reoccurringly, I'm assuming their body will adjust to it at some point due to epigenetics and become maybe not immune, but treat it as just a cold and not take the symptoms or not have the symptoms be so severe. That's the only real way I see the U.S. getting out of this, unless of course a vaccine is found, because now we're testing for vaccines, right?
Yeah. But what do you mean by everyone who has the virus, like everyone who can die will die? Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, so basically what I mean is, I think there's a bit of disregard for all their citizens in the United States because it's capitalist, so
Yeah.
they're
I
not.
mean, Western society's based on capitalism. The American dream is
Yeah.
from rags to riches. Like,
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. So what I mean by that is that, maybe say everyone in the United States got the coronavirus, just all 320 something million of them, or how
quite
many
a bit,
people
yeah.
they are. what I'm saying is that everyone who would die from the coronavirus will die, and then the rest of the population that is still alive will be fine because they'll just not die from it. And just
So
that,
you're saying like if it were untreated, like
yeah, if it were
if
untreated, if nothing
okay.
happens, everyone who's likely to die from it will die, and everybody else will be completely fine, and then it won't be a big deal there anymore. And
Okay.
I think they're gonna come out of the coronavirus on top if a vaccine isn't found, because that's exactly what they're gonna do. The only other possibility is if we do what we did with SARS and we literally just let the virus die out. But I don't see that happening because people seem to not like being locked up for a while.
I mean, a big issue that I hear from a lot of people is, or at least that I read on the internet, is that in U.S. the healthcare isn't free, and there's a lot of people in the U.S. who say that's a good thing, and there's a bunch of arguments, and I'm not here to argue that, but that could possibly cause what you say, that people who will die, who can die, will die because there's just the health system is overloaded, and for the places where they aren't, people who can't afford, I guess, the medical care.
I agree, and the people who can't afford the medical care, you have to assume that it's been like that for the majority of their life, so they probably already have other health implications too.
Yeah.
So it's a big chaotic disaster in the words of Barack Obama.
Big chaotic disaster.
There's just no other way to put it, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
if you compare it to here in Ontario, at least, Ontario's not doing so bad anymore. Quebec's still struggling a little bit, but in relative comparison to the U.S., they're doing super well. And I don't know if that's because,
Well, I think everyone
yeah,
right now, comparing to the U.S., is doing super well. I
yeah,
mean, even Italy, like they're slowly going back to normal.
yeah, and I think part of the reason why Canada might be doing better to some sense is that there's less of us in a larger amount of space, so almost naturally we're further apart all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in Canada, it might have been a couple of years ago, but the stat was there's 4 people per square kilometer
yeah,
of land, while in the U.S. is probably about double or triple that.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think we'll be fine, but just to compare it to them, that's probably one of the main reasons it's hitting them harder too, and that they protested a lot more and don't follow the rules as much.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's going on over there. Next up we have TikTok taking over YouTube. You told me about this, and I'm like, I see it,
Well,
but
you must be hurt a little bit by that as a former YouTuber.
okay, well, I wouldn't call myself a former YouTuber. I've had experience in the field of YouTubing, um, and now have experience in the field of TikToking.
That's true. You are a
And
pretty good TikToker. I gotta give
I
you
don't
that.
know if I should be proud of that. But so, are there any stats saying that TikTok is taking over YouTube, or what's going on?
Yeah, there is actually. Thanks to Snapchat stories, they're very reliable. No, but for real, Cosmopolitan, which is generally speaking, pretty good with this type of poll and stat
Yeah.
because that's their main focus. Said that 64% of teenagers would rather watch TikTok than YouTube. And you know how
Okay.
there's a bunch of TikTok challenges
Yeah.
and there's YouTube challenges, but the
Yep.
predominant YouTube challenge, like just in general, is makeup challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the 59% of the 64 teenagers said that they would so much rather do a TikTok challenge than a YouTube challenge, and the other part was just they said they wouldn't want to do either. They just enjoy watching TikTok.
Yeah. So, I think there are a couple of factors that contribute to that. First of all, I feel like people our age have a really short attention span. I'm speaking for myself too, to say. Um, but also just with the platforms themselves. YouTube uploading a video where you can add music and yourself dancing is a bit more challenging than it. Well, it's actually way more challenging than with TikTok. Sorry. Um, I know already by uploading this podcast, I couldn't just overlay a song or overlay the audio with just the visual with our logo or whatever. But with TikTok, it's just you can one click. It's like almost sending a Snapchat per se. And I guess these 15-second videos appeal or are more attractive to our short attention span. I'm not sure if I know what I'm talking about, but I know that I can watch many more TikToks because they pass by really fast, but a whole 20-minute YouTube video is just like puts me to sleep.
Well, yeah, it's boring. I agree. And I think another good feature about TikTok is how you can just slide through a TikTok to get from one video to another. It's just you just slide. But on YouTube, it's not hard either, but it takes more time.
That sliding thing is probably what gave Instagram its success.
I agree. I don't know. I find it so much more appealing to just slide too. I don't know what it is, but it's almost fun to just slide through. And then
now that I think of it, TikTok and Instagram are very similar.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say. I don't know. Facebook does not own TikTok. It's Chinese, isn't it? Is it Chinese owned company now?
It's from Chinese, I think.
But wasn't Musically the original TikTok?
Yes.
Belonging to Facebook, or is that completely wrong?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I think that might be wrong, but who knows? But what's really interesting is Jake and Logan Paul on YouTube have 40 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And on TikTok they have a combined 20 million. So obviously they have a decent amount on TikTok too. But what really stood out from Cosmopolitan was that 74% of the people who watch YouTube, teenagers who say they still watch YouTube frequently, said they're over the Paul brothers and that they're onto the D'Amelio sisters. So
I have not heard of the latter. And I have never really been a fan of the former. So I don't have much to say on that, but that's very interesting. I mean, I guess trends just pass on.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio are a trend too, although they got crazy subscribers. Charlie's at 40-something million, and she's had it for not even a whole year yet.
So what exactly are they about? Is it like another Logan and Jake Paul kind of side thing?
Well, let's compare Charlie and Dixie. So Charlie and Dixie said they were twins at first. I don't think they are though, because Dixie keeps doing a bunch of graduation stuff, so I'm gonna assume she's actually your age or a year older than me. Okay. And that Charlie's 16, as she says she is. Now, Charlie has done some controversial things too, but she doesn't really get in trouble for it because she's Charlie D'Amelio. Like, her nudes were leaked, and she sort of passed it off by making a TikTok saying, "If you know, you know." Okay. And then the whole world sort of forgot about it. Logan Paul didn't really do... Well, Logan Paul obviously did something that was a lot worse, filming a dead guy, and then his next video was tasering a rat. But
yeah, that was dark times. Oh my.
I think that on TikTok you're a lot less accountable for that type of thing, and that's why TikTok's getting really big and why the movement's sort of heading there. But I do see it as a trend, as you said.
Yeah, well, I guess you could just swipe away from that stuff, but maybe it's because they're females, and as you know, all the female TikToks get a lot more views now because it's quarantine, so all the boys are...
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can't deny that. Yeah.
I can neither affirm or deny that. Confirm or deny. Okay. Either way, let's move on to our last subject of the day. So, tomorrow, big decision from Ministry of Education, I believe, or Ministry of Health. One of the two. School. Is it reopening?
I don't see why it would. If anyone from OCDSB is listening to this right now, please don't open the schools. I don't want to go back. I mean, for the grade 12s, I guess you guys kind of want to go back in one sense, because
we don't.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to go back to school, but you want to go back so you can, like, throw your hat at graduation and say, screw this, and go to university. But I don't. What's the point of going back to school right now? If we go back to school, it's going to be, okay, stay 6 feet apart from everyone. You can see all your friends. You can't hug them. You can't say hi. You can't talk to them. You got to wear a mask. You can't have recess with them, or lunchtime, or whatever you want to call it for high school. I think it would be cruel to send us back. I don't.
Honestly, for high school, it's
There's
just
no
a break,
benefit.
but
Yeah,
it
there's
would be
no.
awful to send us back, and there's no way they could send us all back with a 2 meter thing in place.
I mean, I think they're ludicrous to think that people would go back if they send us back.
I
Who's
would
gonna
not go back.
I'm not.
I'd say I'd have the virus and just stay home.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not going back.
my grandma's 70. She's in her late 70s. I'm not trying to get the coronavirus and kill her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially that. That's a very good point.
Because you got to think some people are probably living with their grandparents too.
I'm being here selfish, thinking like, yeah, I just don't want to go. School sucks. But yeah, people like you, you don't want to get your family sick because you have some very vulnerable people in your household.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. Maybe I'm vulnerable too, and I don't even know it. That's the thing. There's
Well,
probably a lot of kids out.
There's
Probably. Yeah, I'd love to, honestly. I get out of my house. It'd be kind of nice. You got to assume that I'm gonna guess that there's not many, but there's a few people who don't know that they have asthma because they've never really been forced to push themselves hard enough in sports, and then they're gonna go to school, get the coronavirus, say, "Hey, I have asthma," and realize that they're dead 2 weeks later when they're up in heaven,
or in
Friends.
the ER, but neither are pleasant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation.
Well,
living's a win,
but
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So you're thinking no, and I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I'm hoping no too. Fingers crossed, right here.
But do you think school's gonna open? If they say no, is school gonna open in September next year or no? What do you think?
Honestly, that I don't care about. I'm not going to high school.
Okay, what about university though?
Okay, university.
Because that's a big thing too. Because think of it like this: if it doesn't open, I'm gonna assume a lot of people are gonna take a gap year, and that means when I go to university, the universities are gonna be crowded with first-year students.
That's true. So I don't really care, to be honest. I think I'm going to Carleton, and at this point, I'm probably fine doing online classes. Because in university, I think you do already take a couple of online classes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, for sure.
And first year, it's like the basics again. It's like calculus. You go over calculus. It really depends on your program. But I think for first term, like even like the first 4 classes, if that's online, like it's not the end of the world for me. I wouldn't drop out.
Yeah. Do you think you would go part-time, though, or would you still go full-time?
Oh, still full-time. I mean, there's no point in going part-time because I wouldn't have a job if the universities are still closed, because that means the pools will probably also be closed.
Oh, yeah. I guess I hadn't thought about that. You can't really work till City of Ottawa opens its pools again. Yeah, and that's a thing for a lot of people.
Soon. I hope that's really soon because I kind of like my job, I kind of miss it, and kind of need money for university.
Yeah, I mean, I have faith in the people of Ontario that they will. I can't speak English. That they will stay safe and not screw this up.
I mean, we were talking earlier about all the lifeguards who are going to go back to their jobs when this reopens, and it's like all the people like me who aren't doing exercise are like, you don't want us to be your lifeguards.
Think of how much slower and fatter everyone's going to be in professional sports at the end of this. It's going to be the NBA. Nobody's going to be able to dunk anymore because they weigh an extra 50 pounds.
Well, all the hip checks in the NHL will be massive because the guys are going to be like 200 pounds.
They're going to be cracking the ice, going through the glass all the time.
They're probably already 200 pounds. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
They'll be 300 pounds now.
Like at least 600 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know, it's all up in the air, I guess, at this point. Who knows what's going on?
It is what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we'll be back next week as usual. We won't leave you for too long, don't worry.
Just make sure to leave a like.
Subscribe, comment.
Yes, let us know what you think about our podcast. If there's anything we can improve, any feedback, we appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. I guess we'll see you next week. This is Peace Out from Sam.
And a goodbye from me, Noah. Take care.